4:30. So did you hear it or feel it? A loud boom rocking Kentuckiana late last night. And now questions about whether that meteor was responsible. And this meteor, not the only one folks have been seeing recently. Our Shane Simmons has been hard at work getting answers. And Shane, what can you tell us?
Yeah, Rachel, that loud boom you're talking about caught a lot of people off guard last night. And this is some surveillance video captured in Cincinnati, Ohio. One expert I spoke with today said this was likely a baseball-sized meteor. While a baseball-sized rock may not seem very big, it sure left a big impression on some. When you live in the city, you never know what kind of noises you'll hear. But in the case of Thursday night, many folks say they heard something that was big. This home surveillance video captured what experts say is a meteor crashing down on Earth.
That's pretty impressive. That's somewhere. That at the bottom of that are going to be pieces of meteor.
For a space lover like the Rock Planetarium's Drew Foster,
Since 1969, I've been hooked.
the sights and sounds being reported get him pumped up.
And here's a report from Lafayette, Indiana.
And it's another excuse for him to whip out the planetarium's meteor collections.
This is from the Libyan desert. Well, it's been a busy month with meteor showers and what people refer to as shooting stars or fireballs.
Foster says right now the Earth is passing through a swarm of torrid meteors, which is kind of like driving through a bunch of space trash.
They're usually traveling something between 20,000 and 50,000 miles per hour, just whizzing by the planet.
It may have come as a surprise, but it's something people like Drew won't forget anytime soon. Drew Foster from the Rock Planetarium said these falling meteors are more common than you might think, especially this month. He said there's been 472 reports of meteor showers just in the last 10 days compared to an average, which is around 100 a month. So pretty spectacular stuff. And I got to ask, did either of you hear it? Because I think I was sound asleep and I didn't hear a single thing.
No, I think I was asleep too.
I was here, so
And
I just
you
kept getting
didn't-
all the reports.
You
so
kept
what?
getting the phone calls then, because I was talking to Doug in the newsroom, and he said the phones were ringing. Everybody saying,
Facebook, Twitter.
"What's that?"
Lighting up.
Insane.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for tracking it down.
Hey, it was a lot of fun.
I know.
I'm a space geek.
Well, I am too. I
Me
am too.
too.
So those things fascinate me.
And it was finally good to see that video of what actually occurred and what people heard, you know, the loud boom outside.
You see that coming. Take cover.
I know.
Thank you so much.
Possible mystery boom over the UK, November 15, 2015, quote, Big Bang theories after loud noise heard in Hollywood in early hours of Sunday. A number of residents reported hearing what sounded like an explosion in the hometown of golf ace Rory McIlroy shortly before 4 a.m. Mystery surrounds a loud bang which reverberated around upmarket Hollywood in the early hours of Sunday. A number of residents reported hearing what sounded like an explosion in the hometown of golf ace Rory McIlroy shortly before 4 a.m. The town is also home to Security Services MI5, sparking fears of an attack on its headquarters, but the PSNI has ruled out any reports of criminal activity in and around Hollywood in the past 12 hours. A source in the town said, "It woke me up. It was very loud, louder than a firework. You always fear the worst, but nobody seems to know much about it this morning." Others took to social media regarding the noise. Sonia said, "Does anyone know what loud bang was at 3:45 a.m. this morning, heard at Hollywood?" End quote. Possible mystery boom mistaken for jets near Tampa, Florida, November 18, 2015. Quote, "Here are some loud booms. They're related to military exercises." David Moore was sitting outside his home in Odessa around 7:30 p.m. Tuesday when he heard a loud noise. "I heard the first one and thought it could be a big sinkhole opening up, but then more." A geologist who once served as executive director of the Southwest Florida Water Management District heard another boom and then another between 7:30 p.m. and 9 p.m. "I heard between 15 and 20, he said. "They sounded like sonic booms from aircraft over in Lando Lakes." Jennifer Acosta heard the noises too, describing them as a series of 8 to 12 booms that began about 8:15 and ended about 9:30. "Did not call law enforcement as my dad listened to the scanner and heard others had already called." She wrote in an email to the Tampa Tribune. Moore and Acosta were in good company. The Citrus County Sheriff's Office reported on Facebook it had received a number of calls about the noise, particularly in Crystal River and Lecantos, and others in Hernando and Pasco counties also reported hearing them. Meantime, at about the same time, F-22 Raptor fighter jets were taking off from Tyndall Air Force Base, about 12 miles east of Panama City. It's home to the 43rd Fighter Squadron, the nation's only F-22 Raptor training unit. The base was conducting night flights, said Air Force SGT William Jackson, a Tyndall spokesman. They began about 6:15 p.m. and ended around 9:50 p.m. Jackson said the training has been going on for about a week and should wrap up by the end of the week. We wanted to take advantage of early hours and not buzz during the quiet hours, Jackson said. We don't want to fly around midnight when civilians are sleeping. While it is not yet clear that the Tyndall training is the source of the sonic booms, the U.S. military regularly uses a 200 rectangular mile patch of airspace of the Gulf of Mexico for training and exercises. The test site, known as Whiskey 470, is about 50 miles northwest of Tampa. The military also uses another site called Whiskey 151 that is farther west. The Florida Department of Emergency Management received a call 9:15 p.m. Tuesday from Marion County emergency management officials asking if we had received reports of any military training exercises going on in the area, said Aaron Gallagher, the department spokesman. Around 7:30 a.m., Citrus County emergency management officials reported booms. Gallagher said the last December, window-shaking sounds were reported from folks as far inland as Gainesville. The noises were tied to military exercises out of Tyndall, the state's Division of Emergency Management said at the time, at Eglin Air Force Base, also in the Panhandle, and where pilots train on the F-35 Lightning II, the flying branch's newest fighter. Officials said they had no flights either last night or today. While it remains unclear if there was any connection between the booms and the flights out of Tyndall, there is one certainty about loud noises and local military bases. The 6th Air Mobility Wing's Explosive Ordnance Disposal Team was conducting its monthly testing at MacDill Wednesday morning, said Tech SGT Ollie Rose, a spokeswoman for the wing, which is the base host unit. The training started at 9:30 a.m. and the sound of explosions was expected, said Rose, and a little later that day, back up in Odessa, Moore said he heard a few more booms. They sounded like the ones I heard last night, he said, end quote. Mystery boom over St. George, Utah, November 19, 2015, quote, loud boom near county jail startles area residents. Something that sounded like a loud explosion was heard across the Hurricane Valley near the county jail Thursday evening, flooding the dispatch center with calls and causing law enforcement officers to respond to the facility. At 6 p.m. St. George Communications Center began receiving numerous calls from hurricane residents reporting what sounded like a loud explosion near Purgatory Correctional Facility. Washington County Sheriff's SGT Dave Krause said, initially, a loud boom was reported on the west side of the correctional facility, but was soon followed by a flood of calls from concerned residents from throughout Hurricane with similar reports. One witness reported seeing an explosive device being thrown from a vehicle near Purgatory, Krause said, but that report was dismissed after a preliminary investigation. There are no indications of any direct threat to Purgatory or to the community, Krause said. Officers with Washington County Sheriff's Office and Hurricane City Police Department responded to the scene, and Hurricane Police continue to patrol the area. No damage or injuries had been reported. Krause said around 8:15 p.m. police have yet to determine the nature of the explosion, he said, and the incident is still under investigation, end quote. Let us know if you heard any mystery booms and meteor explosions.